Welcome back to a new episode of Project Midwest, and yes, we are in the Midwest, and yes, it is freezing. So this video, we're actually going to try to make it, well, I'm trying to make everything quick, but entertaining. And new subscribers, I hope we got another one more. We're building a twin turbo FRS, and yeah, it's looking pretty damn clean. In today's video, we're going to be tackling the transmission cooler. So got our parts, and we are going to be using it with a fan that is actually going to run off a 40 amp relay with a thermostat that I think will trigger at around 180 degrees. So there's the relay, and just got a set of fittings there. So I think Justin, since this is going to go on top or in front of the condenser because we're still going to have AC in this car, I'm thinking that we might have to fasten everything down just to get like a good location for it. And we'll put the condenser up in front because I think it uses this bolt as well. And then we can figure out placement. We might not even have to zip tie it at the moment, but we can cut our hoses to length. So we'll probably want it, do you think further bottom, top, maybe like bottom, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like somewhere in this area, so it's like flush with
the bottom.
Yeah,
with the condenser anyway.
Yeah, the condenser, the radiator, and we might be able to make some brackets off this. So some L-shaped brackets into here. And yeah, so it'll also help with cooling because I think the opening in the bumper over there, it'll probably come up to like this area. So that'll help. The only thing, I don't know if it would look ugly, but since we might put a mesh in that opening in the
I think
bumper,
it'll be fine with the mesh, to be honest.
We're also going to have the fan there. So we actually have a fan that is going to be pushing air, and our radiator fans are pulling. So with this complete build, we realized that cooling might be an issue, but I think we're in a good spot right now. And we have additional plans, just in case things get a little heated, literally. Cut the hood, maybe get an aftermarket hood, or we'll make these vents functional. So that would be really cool. So I think I want to do that regardless eventually. But yeah, we'll see. So this, nice dude, perfect. So we can run our zip ties, and that's a perfect size, dude. That's literally a perfect size. It's like flush on top and bottom. I really hate this look right here. I hate tapered fittings. I really don't like them, but this is how this thing is set up. So I got my two tapered fittings that go into -6 here and here. And then I have this ugly T right here for our thermostat. And unfortunately, maybe I didn't look hard enough, but I couldn't find a T that would allow me to screw this in directly into the T as opposed to using another adapter right here. So we're gonna end up using some sealant or some Teflon tape on all this stuff just to make sure it doesn't leak. So again, this is our little thermostat that is gonna trigger the relay, and that is then gonna trigger the fan. So I think for the most part, this is how it's gonna look. Put this little thing in my bobber right here, and perfect, it's a headlight. Just like everything in this frickin' build, dude. It always has to do something. No, I think we can get to clear. I think we'll be
it's just a little wire, isn't it? That
yeah, it's just gonna be a clip, and
plus it's gonna be a little further out because of the condenser as well.
It's gonna be right here, somewhere around this area. So we decided to offset this thing because Justin made a really good point. We put this in the center, and the car, without the bumper, looks like it has a set of eyes, maybe some teeth over here. And if we put it in the middle, it kind of looks like a Hitler stash. So we're kind of like a, what do you call it, like a buck tooth?
I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, so it looks a little ugly. We definitely don't want to do that because I think we might take this to car shows without a bumper here and there, and just to kind of like show off the entire setup. But yeah, so I think this option might be a little bit better. So I don't know.
I think it looks better.
I think so too. I like it. I think it's gonna be one of those things where I was gonna say it's gonna grow on me, but I like it. I really do like it. it's different.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of keeping everything symmetrical, so it kind of helps break things down. I think that's gonna look pretty damn solid, dude. This is a nice little setup.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll end up using this. And I do have to order an additional 90°-6 fitting. So this one will go there. I need one for that side. And I think what we can do next is I'll get that one ordered. We could probably terminate the hose that we have coming from the transmission. This is one of them. And after that, we can see how you want to run this relay. We got everything mocked up and mounted onto our condenser. So looks pretty dang good. Like I said, with an offset look. We also got our hoses terminated and our 90s are ready to go. So we actually had pretty good clearance right in this gap just to keep things nice and clean. And the lines, I don't know if you guys can see that terrible lighting, but so here's one of, or both lines right here. So we're gonna actually fasten these to the sides. We won't have any issues with exhaust and things getting hot and stuff. So we still have plenty of clearance. Nothing is making contact so far. And here's our -6 excess hose that we're gonna use for our turbo coolant lines. So this is gonna get a little tricky. We're gonna try to keep things away from heat, obviously, and organized at the same time. So we're probably gonna go ahead and get started with this right-hand side one since it's gonna have the longest hoses, and we're gonna go ahead and feed them maybe underneath this radiator bracket, in between the wastegate and the turbo, right through this little section right here. Then they're gonna Y into the in and out on the thermostat housing. So not a thermostat housing, but the actual water pump itself. All right, quick update, guys. So we have a shit ton of blisters on our hands, but, oh damn, I cussed. We got our coolant lines for our turbos. So I was actually kind of afraid that this was gonna get a little messy, but it came out really good. So everything is very well organized. So we have our 4 lines that split into Ys. So we got a feed and return for both of these. And the hoses for the right-hand side, they actually tuck in really nice under this radiator support bracket. Now all we have to do is pretty much tee them into our feed and return into the water pump, and that's pretty much it. So next thing that we gotta tackle, I guess, related to cooling and transmission is the dipstick for the trans. So here's our concept. If you guys remember, we actually cut the end off our dipstick, which is right here, using a -10 line. And what we do have to do still is cut this other end that is tapered, and this is where I guess the dipstick itself like clamps. It's weird. It kind of like it expands, so it won't allow it to come back out with like pressure. So I cut the other end off. This is the tapered end that I was telling you guys about. So if we slide this in here, clips. Looks like we're gonna end this video with a hose. And here it is. So it's our flexible dipstick tube for our transmission fluid. And there's not much to it, but so we ended up tapering that end. So now our dipstick goes in flawlessly, clips on right there. Now we just gotta put our ends on so our hose doesn't fray. And then we should be all set. So we do have to trim this. Unfortunately, if you guys remember a while back, we put the transmission on. Well, we put a little bit of fluid in already because we believed that it was gonna be a challenge putting in the fluid later on, just because the tunnel is extremely tight. And it is, but we're new to this, so we realized that the way to fill up the transmission is through this freaking tube. So now what do we have to do? We gotta frickin' drain the fluid. Thankfully, I think we only put like what, 3 quarts, and I spilled about 1 quart.
Yeah.
No, there's about 3 quarts in there. Other downside is that I am pretty sure, since this is a deep pan, got the transmission built through RPM transmissions, I'm not seeing a drain plug. So You looked it up, right, Justin? You said that like it should be right in that
right on the
hole, and
right on
there's
the,
no drain plug. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Anyways, it's not all that bad, guys, because we have to take this puppy out for
the oil dipstick.
oh yeah, the oil pan dipstick. So it just seems like we're unorganized, but these are just like little things that I was like, oh shit, we can't use the original dipstick because now we're front sump, and I was under the assumption that we could, or that there was just a shorter dipstick, but no, we can't. So what we are gonna do, and I'm not gonna cover too much of this because I feel like I do a lot of talking, not a lot of doing. We are gonna use the original rusted dipstick, and we're gonna clean it up, but it's probably gonna be somewhere in this position right here. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next video. We're gonna try to pump this one out quick. I'm actually in contact with a few guys right now regarding the ECU, so shit's getting close. By the way, there's one guy that commented on the PCV setup, and I think, I don't want to say you're wrong because I did some research on it, but I think what you're explaining to me makes sense, and I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So there's, as you probably know, there's hundreds of threads out there regarding PCV cat can setup, but I think I'm gonna go down your route. So we're actually gonna redo some of this stuff. We are gonna get -10 fittings on our valves, but that's for another video. Like I said, we'll catch you guys sometime next week, 2 weeks, I don't know. Sometimes crap pops up, but we'll shoot for that. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you guys later.